Hi kids, welcome to Sunday School. This is Pastor Mike, and we are now in the month of December, which means we are progressing towards Christmas. And one of my favorite parts of Christmas is the songs, the Christmas songs. Now, there are a lot of Christmas songs, and some of them we love to sing. But the songs that I really like to sing are Christmas carols. Now, not all Christmas songs are carols. For a song to be considered a Christmas carol, it has to be about Jesus. So that is why I like to sing carols, because they're about Jesus. So all this month, I'm going to tell you a Christmas carol story about how it was written and how it came about. And then we're going to sing it. And then I'm going to tell you a little Christmas story. So here we go. The first one is one of most kids all know this song. And no, it's not Jingle Bells, because Jingle Bells says nothing about Jesus. But this one is one that all little kids learn almost in the preschool department. And it is called Away in a Manger. So listen to this story. Children enjoy Christmas more than any other time of year. Isn't that true? Well, adults also share that special joy. Away in a Manger is usually considered a children's carol. Yet its beauty and power is loved equally by people of all ages. All of us can pray, "I love you, Lord Jesus. Stay close to me tonight." For many years, this hymn was attributed to Martin Luther. He was a pastor many, many years ago. The song first appeared in a Lutheran hymnal in the mid-1800s. The next publisher to pick it up called it Luther's Cradle Hymn, assuming that since it was anonymous, that means nobody knew who wrote it actually, and in a Lutheran hymnal, it must be Luther's. But regardless of its author, the beauty of this carol is the beauty of Christmas. It is simple. Christmas is not the gold or glitter, the wrappings or trappings. It is the story of God humbling himself to become a baby, born in a crude circumstances to a young woman in ancient Palestine. Sing this carol softly. It is what Christmas is all about. Who has believed what we have heard? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by others, a man of suffering and acquainted with infirmity. And as one from whom others hide their faces, he was despised, and we held him of no account. Isaiah wrote those words in Isaiah 53, 1-3. And those words were all about Jesus. So let's sing together, Away in a Manger. And I want you, just like that devotional said, to sing it softly before him. Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and fit us for heaven to live with thee there. Now, hopefully you aren't asleep out there. It does sound like a lullaby, doesn't it? And how we desire for Jesus to be close to us. You know, that's what Christmas is all about, is when Jesus came to earth. And so here's a story from the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew wrote these words. And this story is taken from Matthew chapter 1, 1 through 17. So listen to this. One of Jesus' 12 disciples, Matthew, wanted all of the Jewish people to understand that Jesus was the Messiah that had been promised by God. To start his gospel, he began by explaining who Jesus' family was. The Jewish people kept long lists of families called genealogies. It was important to them to know a person's family and history. So Matthew began the family of Jesus, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Usually a family list would be named after the earliest, most important member of the family. Matthew named his family list after Jesus because Matthew understood that Jesus was the most important person ever. Then Matthew began to list the people in Jesus' family. Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob. A few lines later, he said Salmon and his wife Rahab had a son named Boaz. Boaz and his wife Ruth had a son named Obed. Obed had a son named Jesse. And Jesse had a son named David, who became king of Israel. One of the many promises God made about the Messiah was that he would be from King David's family. Matthew told the people through Jesus' family list that God kept this promise. Next, Matthew told about the members of Jesus' family from King David until the Israelites were defeated because of their sin and taken away to Babylon. Finally, Matthew listed the family members after the Israelites returned from Babylon. He finished with Jacob and had a son named Joseph. Joseph was the husband of Mary. Mary gave birth to Jesus Christ. You know, it's interesting to know about families. Like, let me tell you a little bit about my genealogy. Now, I can't go back very far compared to some people, but here's how mine would be listed. Ingvald had a wife named Amanda, and they had a son named Ole. Ole had a wife named Mavis, and they had a son named Michael. Michael had a son had a wife named Terry, and they had a son named Matthew. Now, they had a daughter too, and another daughter, Elizabeth and Joanna. But that's all. That's my genealogy. That's my family. Maybe you want to talk to your family and say, what are my grandparents' names? And what are my great-grandparents' names? And what are my great-great-grandparents' names? And learn a little bit about your family. You know, Jesus came, and that's what Christmas is all about. Now, we have a memory verse this month, and it is John chapter 1, verse 14. And this is what it says. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. Now, look at the picture. Here's the picture. I want you to read it with me. John chapter 1, verse 14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. When we look at that, and the Word, you know who that Word is? That Word is Jesus. So practice memorizing that. Next week we'll play a little game with that. But as we leave, I'm just going to play a little bit more of this song.